Masters in Session. This is Brother Hatim coming at you. I'm podcasting at this point in time because I'm standing outside. And I know that you haven't heard from me in a while. I got a couple of shows that I got cataloged that I'm saving. And I'm going through a hard time, a very heartbreaking time for me. And it's nothing that shouldn't be expected on the journey, because during the journey we often run into issues that for some reason or other we can't really get our hands around it. We understand it intellectually, but emotionally it still tears us up. Now, the major issue that hit me maybe about 3 weeks ago was I was expecting a call of celebration, and I didn't receive a call, and I didn't receive the call that I expected. My brother PJ's wife called me and let me know that he had lost his case. For those that don't know, one of my friends was a CEO of a major company that I won't mention because of the legal ramifications on his part. But I can mention his name. His name is Preston Harrison. And he's my brother. And the issue that I need to address is that I'm starting a GoFundMe, and I will post up the GoFundMe page for all those that are interested and those that really want to understand what's going on. You need to check out the Columbus News, and it may be in some national newspapers about this brother's case, Preston J. Harrison. You can look it up, Junior. So let me get into what I need to talk about tonight. I've been listening and studying and preparing myself for a long time, and right now it's really needed. So I started dusting off an old book that I got called Powernomics by Claude Anderson. And Claude Anderson talks about the structure of society being like a 5-story building, and I mentioned this in a few of my things, and he talks about the first level, which we'll come back to, which is economics, but then you got the second level, which is politics, and you got the third level, which is the courts and the judges and the police, and then the fourth level, which is the media, then the fifth level is the education system. And what Claude Anderson is saying is that the bottom level, which is economics, is the foundation upon which all these are built. Even when we look at the definition of a nation is a stable, historically developed community of people with territory, economic life, distinctive culture, language, and common. When we look at those first two parts, stability, and you know what I'm saying, and we look at the territory and economic life. The territory and economic life work together because from the territory you get an economic life. And what my brother PJ had established was a territory. And I need y'all to understand this, because this is where I'm coming from. I'm starting to understand that in today's society, if you are a black man, I'm just bringing it up, and you figure out that the root cause of a lot of the issues go back to our economic development. Now, I will admit that the spirituality is very important, but even spirituality without an economic basis does nothing. I need you to understand that. I mean, you could be as spiritual as you want, but if you don't have the economic power, you can't go to war for your people. If you don't have the economic power, you can't feed your people. If you don't have the economic power, you can't develop businesses for your people. You need that economic power. In a sense, the economic power, in a sense, is the energy flow of the spirituality in the material realm, right? The spirituality of the physical realm, or the representation of the spiritual realm, is the economics. And one of the things that my brother PJ had established was an economic base. Now, the product that he was working on, right? The product that he's working on was a product that would fit in to the energy in the enhanced water drink industry, which is $1 billion industry. I ain't talking about $1 billion just one time. I'm talking $1 billion over and over. The, the brother, the brothers, him and his partner came up with a drink that had absolutely no sugar. It had vitamins and minerals, and it enhanced the oxygen flow of the person that drunk this drink. Now, this was a product that not only would help the black community, but it would help every community that it was in. But the only problem with the product is that the product belonged to somebody who had a conscious, who had a community conscience, right? And because he had a community conscience, he was a threat, right? Because you can't have somebody who is thinking about helping his people. He's not thinking about tricking the money off. He's not thinking about just buying a Rolls Royce. He's not just thinking about buying the biggest house. No, he's talking about developing a community. He's talking about reinvesting money and rebuilding parts of the community. No one business can't do it, but one business can get it started. One industry can get it started, and this brother was bold enough to have this vision, and he was bold enough to hold on to the recipe and not let anybody just come in and take the recipe. Now, on the trial, and I was reading about the trial. The trial was real quick, and let me tell you the strategy that was used. So the IRS, from my understanding, this is my limited understanding. All this is Brother Hatim's perspective, and I need you to understand this. So, because I could be wrong about a lot of this, but when I'm looking at it, right, the IRS moved in, and the IRS froze all the funds. The IRS took all the stuff. So, of course, when you have no capital, you can do no business. And when you can't do no business, you can do nothing but go into bankruptcy, right? So now, and what they do is that they string you out, because this is happening, and I want y'all to look into your community, because this is happening to many different communities. I want you to understand. Now, it really affects the black community, because when, as long as we got businesses that are not contributing to us moving towards another level of existence, right? If we would have came out with a new liquor, we probably wouldn't have had no problems. If we would have, if the brother would have developed a new type of rim, we wouldn't have no problem. But we talking about a product that enhances life. We talking about a product that makes you healthy. We talking a product that can help clear up your system, right? To help clear up your thinking, because water is essential. But when you start throwing the extra minerals and you got the right combination to get certain things to happen, we're talking about a certain health and a certain vitality that will be brought into the world that many may not want, because they need you to be a dumb consumer. They need you to be doped up on sugar, right? So this brother go to trial. And because they froze up all the money, of course he can't afford to have the best counsel. So he gets a public contender, a public defender. And the public defenders allow the prosecution to call up all these witnesses. Now let me explain the process of court so that you can understand it from Brother Hatim's level and the street level, right? So let's break it down. Court is about selling ideas. The prosecution sells the idea of guilt, and the defense sells the idea of innocence. And they're selling it to the jury, but there's certain rules that the lawyers have to be able to follow to get their ideas across. So the judge's job is to monitor these ideas that are coming across. There's certain things you can say and certain things that you can't say. And the judge's job is to make sure that what is said is correct or allowable within court. Okay? So PJ's lawyers didn't do a good job of selling his product or selling his idea. They didn't sell it. What they did was they allowed the prosecution to sell their ideas, right? And they got PJ and his co-defendant. They got PJ and his co-defendant comfortable in thinking that their idea was sold by the prosecution not proving their case, not realizing that the jury don't understand the law. The jury, most of them are lay people. They don't understand business. They don't understand all the stuff that's going on. The only thing I'm asking people to do, and I'm not even asking one individual, because I'm trying to raise $45,000 so I can help my brother get a good lawyer. And my brother needs a lawyer. My brother needs somebody that can bring his idea to court, can bring the idea of innocence, his idea of innocence to the court. You know what I'm saying? Whether he's guilty or not is not my major concern. What I'm more concerned about is my brother's ideas being allowed to be heard. And his ideas was not allowed to be heard because he couldn't afford justice. He couldn't afford the justice. So what I'm asking is, for those of you out there that may be having somebody go through something, you know what I'm saying? Or because I'm not talking about a dope dealer. I'm not talking about somebody that's out here hurting people. I'm talking about somebody that's trying to enhance people's lives. His ideas, his view need to at least be heard. And it wasn't heard because I want you to think about this. They go through a trial in 3 days, 4 days, and the defense never calls up a witness. The defense never questions any witnesses. The defense don't even call the two people who are on trial to speak. And even if you don't do that, because I understand that some trials it's not good to do that, but you don't have no witnesses that you call. What work have you been doing? Your job as a lawyer is to sell your idea. My brother didn't have the proper defense. My brother didn't have the proper salesman. As a matter of fact, he didn't have a salesman in a hall. It's almost as if he was railroaded. And I need, for those of you that are listening to me, those of you that are listening to the sound of my voice, and those of you that at least believe that somebody can have justice, I'm asking for you to help fund my brother's defense fund. I know I'm asking for money for the boys to go to Sunday, and if you could do that too. But my brother right now needs my help. And the only thing I have is my listenership. You know what I'm saying? I have a couple of dollars, but that's not nearly enough. I got to raise about $50,000 in order for him to at least pay a retainer for somebody that's qualified to even look at the case. So I'm reaching out to each of you, and I'm asking you to reach out to your friends and at least let them hear this podcast and let them decide, because what I need is, I don't need one person to come up with no large amount of money. I'm asking for 45,000 people. There's billions of people on the internet right now. I'm asking for 45,000 people to give $1 a piece. Or I'm asking for 9,000 people to give $5 a piece. So that we can at least allow this brother's case to be heard. Because y'all got to understand, the war is no longer on the militant. The war is no longer on the those that are directly conscious and out in the street talking. The war is on those that understand that freedom in America, at least in the system we have, is based on economic progress. If they can stop you from moving to economic progress, you will never attain your freedom. Because our political system is run by money. Our justice system is run by money. Our media system is run by money. And our education system is driven by money. And because we don't produce no money in the black community, we always gonna be the loser. And this brother, for me, from what I saw, had a product that can at least fill a small gap in developing an economic life. See, because that's the foundation of an economic life for our community. This is Brother Hatem. I want you to check this out. I want you to pass it on. I don't want to talk too long about this. I'm going to put this on over and over again because, you know, I got to speak up for my brother because there's nobody out there else. There's no one else to speak for. You know what I'm saying? There's no one else to speak for. You know what I'm saying? People is running for cover and stuff like this because somebody has pronounced him guilty without even allowing him to be heard. And I know there's other ones of you out there because listen to me, the piece that they do is that they string you out till you out of money and then they attack. We need to start developing defense funds for brothers like this. So this is for Defense Fund for Preston Harrison. I will be posting this up on my Facebook timeline and I will be posting this up on my speaker timeline. So yo, please donate. This is Brother Hatem saying peace, and yo, I'm out.